Welcome to Season 2, Episode 10 of You Are My Oxford podcast. We're sponsored by Nutmeg, the nostalgic football management game coming out in the new year.
Don't forget to mention the free demo, which you can download now, Matt. But before we start talking about the 7 in a row, first I want to bring in another special guest. We saw him briefly a couple of episodes back. Now he's actually going to be joining us in person, and we've got some really, really good news for him. Give me a second. Let me get him on. Here he is. Hello, Mark. Hey. Thank you so much for doing this.
Can you hear me okay, yeah?
Yeah, we can.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very delighted to say it's Mark Rawls, scorer of insanely good goals. Mark, welcome to the pod.
Guys, thanks for having me.
Mark, thank you so much for joining us. I've been trying to find your amazing goal at Cambridge in 2003 for years and years and years and years. Last month, I tracked you down on social media and I messaged you and said, listen, have you got the goal? And tell us what you said.
I said, I haven't got the goal. I did have the goal, but I've lost it over the years. My brother had recorded it for me whilst I was playing. He got it off like Central, one of them stations or whatever. Recorded it, I had it. And obviously through moving houses and stuff like that, you end up losing it. And I'd been exactly like you, scouring YouTube, hoping someone had posted it somewhere, could not find it. And I've had other people actually, other friends of mine who've been trying to get me to find the goal as well because they remember it. But yeah, it's it's been just crazy.
Now, Mark and I have been chatting over social media. Mark, your memory is insane. The detail that you remember stuff in just makes me laugh. Not just this goal, but like other goals as well. So Mark, first of all, I'm just going to play a little game with you. I want you to describe the goal, and then we're going to play you the goal, and we're going to see how accurately you remember it.
Okay. Well, I could set the scene, the whole scene. I didn't start the game. I don't think I started that. No, I didn't start that game as usual. Came on. I think myself and Chris Hackett came on in the second half in that game because Hackett weren't starting games either at that stage. But we came on. From what I remember, it got clipped in from the right-hand side and towards the edge of the box. Somehow, for some reason, Matt Bound was up quite high up the pitch, centrally. He's jumped up, won a header, and he's nodded it down in my direction. And it's came across the front of me. So I'm facing the goal. It's come across the front of me, bounced. As it's bounced, I've hooked it back over the defender's head, my left foot, and I've spun like clockwise away from the defender round, and I hit it full on the volley. And I can't remember if it bounced or went straight in, but in off the post. But I get the in off the post thing a bit messed up because I know I scored a goal against Scunthorpe at home. That went in off the post. So I kind of get them two a bit blurred. I'm not sure. But it hit the back of the net anyway. And it was quite good.
Right, I've tortured you enough. That's what I've been dealing with for the last 2 weeks.
I'll tell you what, that's some description.
Right, let's have a look and we can go through it. And let's have a look and see what happened. Here we go. So that's Basham playing it out to the wing. That's your man, Chrissy Hackett, I reckon. That is indeed Matty Bound.
Wow, yes!
What a goal.
Woo!
What a finish.
I thought it was further out. I thought it was more the edge of the box, though. I didn't realise I was in the box. But
the thing is, Mark, I used to play a bit of football. The longer the years go on, I think you get an extra yard with every year. So, but it was a pretty special finish. That was. How did it feel to watch it again?
No, that's crazy, and it's quite a clean video as well for how long ago it was. But I love that. Absolutely love that. Yeah, I can do that. Guys, remember, this is what I used to do.
And you know what? What's even better, the good news is this will be back on the internet for the world to enjoy, and you won't be able to lose it this time.
I won't. Absolutely won't. I'm storing it somewhere because if anything happens, if there's some cyber crash all over, I'll have it. I don't. It's mine. I'm keeping it.
Mate, it's a heck of a finish. We couldn't believe it when we opened the email and saw it. I was like, oh yeah, fair play. Good.
No, that's good, man. Appreciate that stuff, guys.
Anyway, that was a bit of fun, wasn't it? Let's get back on course. And we promised our audience, didn't we? We'd rank the 7 victories in a row over Swindon.
Yeah, I've genuinely spent the last week or so trying and failing to find a guest who'll agree to come on who was at all 7 games. Then it hit me. I knew someone who definitely would have been at all 7 and who definitely would agree to come on.
Listener, he is a total OUFC nut. Loads of you, many of you, most of you will know him. He's known as Swiss Yellow. His real name is James, and he actually also happens to work for Secret Mode Games, who make the Nutmeg game, who of course sponsor us, which is amazing.
Let's get him on. James, welcome to the show, and of course, thank you so much for sponsoring us. You are truly a friend of the pod.
Thank you very much. No, I didn't pay to get on here. I'm just saying, didn't sponsor you just for airtime. I sponsored you because of your quality content, your avid listener interaction, and also a bit of John Narvett.
Well, money talks. So you're on straight away. But you were at all 7 games, weren't you?
Yeah, at all 7 games, and also some dreadful games before that as well. So yeah, I kind of counterbalanced some of those miserable games in the 90s where we looked round that horrible ground to see them celebrating and us feeling a bit miserable. Yeah.
First up, let's go back almost a quarter of a century, 24 years. Picture the scene, it's December 2002. It's a cold Sunday afternoon. James, for the viewing public, it really wasn't a classic at all, was it?
No.
Let's remember, Ian Atkins was the manager at the time. Describe his football to those who didn't get to see it.
Football is more airball, so it was very. I'm sure it's going to come back round soon and be like the new hipster way of playing football, which was kick it and with as few touches as possible. But I do remember that game and genuinely being really embarrassed by it. So that's why I'll give a surprise. It's not my number one of the pick. I kind of felt we're playing this lot, and we're in a lower division than them, and we're playing rubbish football, and it all feels a bit rubbish in our new ground, which isn't finished, and it was all a bit embarrassing. So my memory of it is kind of, yes, we got the win, but just feeling we're in their shadow a bit, which I didn't like because they kept telling us that constantly at that point, and I just didn't like it because it didn't feel like an overwhelming victory which gave us superiority. It felt a bit squeaky and a bit lucky and a bit spawny. So I didn't have much fun, even though I did enjoy the game, right? The victory.
Let's move on to number 2 in a row. Our first win at the county ground in 38 years. It's Beano at the double. James, tell us the story of the day and the game as you remember.
Yeah, so this was a really weird one. Went by train. The atmosphere was very spicy. And ended up at Swindon train station with around 800 or maybe 25,000 other Oxford fans, as it seemed at the time. And we all nodded at one another. Everybody knew one another. It was yellow everywhere. And we got corralled through the streets of Swindon. And there's one memory which sticks with me as we walked past this terrace house whose window backed on, and this lady appeared, and I'd say she's probably between the ages of 30 and 40, and she looked at this enormous army of like, you know, the orcs off to Helm's Deep, as we must have looked like to her, at which point she pulled up her top and exposed herself. And I just thought that was such a weird thing to do to a bunch of football fans. Very odd, but then that art's kind of odd. And then from there I remember it being one of the most unpleasant last 10 minutes of a game I've ever known. Now, I took a little flip phone thing at the time and filmed it and put it up on YouTube, and it's still up there, the last 3 minutes. And I watched it the other day on chatting about this. And yeah, you could just hear the uncomfortableness of us just hanging on for that result. And yeah, it was a good victory, and it felt more of a relief. It was a how did we get away with that win was the kind of emotion. It was like Beano had, you know, it was really good victory, but not my favourite one.
This is the game, though, that really cemented James Constable as a kind of an Oxford legend. Fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. I think there were rumours before that he was a Swindon fan, or DeCanio had tried to do some nonsense. I remember Dewberry playing, and I remember Michael Dewberry coming over at the end, and I had a little chat with him afterwards, and he was just saying he really enjoyed the atmosphere. And I thought, here's a man who's played, you know, Chelsea Spurs games and Chelsea West Ham and all those kind of games, but he still thought this was an incredible atmosphere. And I loved that. I thought that was great.
All right, we're going to get to 3 in a row now. The return fixture at the Kassam Stadium, one that Matt knows so well. James Constable been in the headlines because Swindon had tried to sign him just a couple of months earlier. James, set the scene then for this one.
Yeah, so this one was it a lunchtime kickoff? And I remember the only place you could get a beer was in the Indian Eat As Much As You Could restaurant, which was in the Kassam at the time. So we all piled in there, I think, at 8 a.m. for biryanis and chicken tikka masalas and a few pints of cobras, and turning up a little bit worse for wear into the East Stand. And again, just this ongoing feeling of this is really unfair. How they sent him off. Oh no, they're top of the table. We're suffering. Like, I think even you can remember who was playing because it's such an odd 11 when you look back at it. But again, we were just grit and determination. It was Wilder getting one over Di Canio, and it's given us that iconic Di Canio kind of haunched over the touchline image that we all know so well. But yeah, Asa Hall and Ollie Johnson going down into Oxford history there.
Oh,
What a
picture you paint. Love that.
It really was the kind of the dregs of our squad as well. I can't remember, who was injured at the time. Just remember lots and lots and lots being out, and they were absolutely flying, and we just clung on and clung on and clung on, and we scored twice, which was just kind of remarkable. 2 goals came really quickly as well, didn't they?
Yeah, really quickly. And another thing I remember not liking very much when I'm ranking these games was the goals were at the other end. I really liked it when the goals were in front of us, and that may give a clue to some of my other ranking.
Okay, the next win was also in 2012, but it was the following season. It was in the JPT Trophy. And the JPT Trophy, when it mattered a little bit more in those days, it was a worthwhile trip to Wembley. It was a late winner for Alfie Potter. James, what else do you remember?
I remember it being, again, not a very enjoyable game, but Alfie Potter scoring right at the death and us going crazy. But again, JPT, it felt like, again, another one where we'd mugged them a bit.
Win's a win.
Should we move on to 5 in a row? 2015,
JPT.
16 now. JPT again.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest, probably one of our most straightforward of the wins.
Yeah.
2-0. Talk us through this one, James.
Yeah, Ruth scored 2, I think. And I think Matt Ritchie pushing the ball boy was either in this one or the one before. It was definitely a JPT. But this one just felt like dominating, and it was a rare game at the time because I don't think they're in the same division as us. So it was a great game, great display. Again, not so many goals at the London Road, let's say. So it was brilliant, but I wouldn't say it was one of the greatest victories for reasons I'll go on to.
Fair.
I've expressed my love for this particular team before. I'm just going to read you the starting 11 from that day. Bushell, Baldock, Scars, Mullins, Wright, Sercombe, Lundstrom, Jordan Graham, Callum Dowder, Taylor, and Roof. That is insane.
Yeah, dominated them. They were in a higher division, weren't they? Well, that was our promotion team, and we steamrolled them. They were in a bit bigger division, but we looked like the far better team. And yeah, a good victory. But again, JPT, so it's a good one. It's a good one.
Okay, we're going to go to the 6th in a row now. It's the following season. It's a league game. It's at the Kassam Stadium, and Chris Maguire puts on a show. James, over to you.
What a show. Chris Maguire dominated them, made every single one of their players about 2 inches tall. We dominated Swindon Town. And after this, like the Jules Rimet Trophy, which Brazil won and then owned, we owned the name Swindon Town after this because we'd beaten them so much. But the way this game was, we owned Swindon. We dominated them. That was it. They were done as a rival. And I think they lost that mentally. Their fan base and their players, and they still haven't won it back, even though they managed to. There was some kind of weird thing in COVID where they spawned a goal past Eastie. But this game was domination, and that's the first time I think since the Joey game back in the late 90s where we dominated them, and it was every single part of the pitch. It was the fans, it was the management, it was the press, it was the stadium. Everything just made us feel better.
A lovely, lovely day, but perhaps even bettered by the return fixture. County ground It's Oxford pushing for a playoff place and heading to Wembley. It's Swindon on their way to relegation. James, take over the story, please.
And it was a completely different vibe to that 2011 away game at the County Ground, which felt like we were up against it. This was a team dominating our rivals at their place. They tried their hardest, but the moments we knew as a fan group that they had kind of lost the plot was when, after they scored, there was like people pitch invading, and they were trying to get the Oxford fans, and it was just such a weird, like, laughable thing. And then when Circum scored, and then that moment of Robbie Hall, I can still remember that now as I close my eyes, and I probably still got bruises on my shins from bouncing around inside the Stratton Bank way end. It was a nuts game, and again, beautiful in its timing because it made them feel absolutely miserable at their place, and for that I am eternally grateful for that whole team, the referee, every single Oxford fan, and everybody in that ground, including the Swindon Town fans. I'm very grateful for them hating it and feeling very miserable about it. And I don't know how old you have to be now to be a Swindon fan that actually remembers us. There's got to be people in their 40s who can hardly remember it, isn't there? So who knows? Who knows?
Okay, so we've had all 7 there. And Dan, I think it's up to James to decide here.
James, go on, just for completion, tell us your number 1 and tell us why.
2016, and it is because of what I've already said. It was that. I suppose Twitter was still quite a positive thing, and we were interacting a lot with Swindon fans. I'd had a lot of interaction with Swindon fans through ice hockey as well, and it just felt like a moment where they'd always been able to kind of justify that Oxford were a bit lucky, or you just this time you beat us. But that win was so dominating and such a masterful performance that it showed we were 2 different clubs. And it was at that moment I just thought, this is the one that I would go back to again and again and relive. And you talk about your favourite children. Your favourite child is Chris Maguire, no matter how many children you've got, surely to goodness, right? And that whole thing of his perfect display of taking the piss and just scoring the penalties, the day. It was the big Robin banner as well, wasn't it? That one, or there was something else. But anyway, the whole thing, I would relive that game again and again. It was a perfect Oxford United moment. And I thought one of the momentous moments in our history against Swindon, because as I've said, we dominated them to the point we own them now.
Okay, James, Matt, we have a little bit of time left. Just time enough, I think, for the John Narbert game brought to you by Nutmeg.
The John Narbert game.
You both know the drill now. We're going to go for the 2016-17 season, the season of total domination over Swindon.
Love it.
Chosen at random.
I'm not feeling that confident about going 3 in a row, I have to say.
Well, if you could both please write down the player you think the other person will name from that season. Please write it down in big letters so you can show it to me. If the other player names this player, you win. You will take it in turns to name a player from that season. You can challenge your opponent's guess. A false challenge, though, leads to a forfeit. Okay, James, you are taking on Matt, the defending champion. You can decide, James, to go first or second.
I'll go first.
Let's play.
Shay Dunkley.
Matt.
Okay. Let me go Rob Hall.
James.
John Lundstrom.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll give you that.
Matt.
Ledson.
James.
Oh, blimey. Charlie Raglan.
Matt.
Scarves.
James.
Oh, God, who was right back?
Gonna have to push you, James.
Where's Thomas?
Oh, I think that's all right.
Matt.
I think he was there this time. Marvin Johnson.
James.
Jordan Graham?
Oh, I'm gonna have to challenge that. I'm putting in challenge.
Was
That
he
is a
then?
challenge. I will now check the record from that season. This is according to Rage Online. James, you said, what did you say?
Jordan
Can't remember.
Graham.
Hold on. Jordan Graham.
Right wing on the other side from Marvin, I think.
Jordan Graham did not.
What?
He's done me.
How have I
2016,
beaten Mr. OUFC himself like that?
When it's in the 80s and 90s, I can remember. I'm more frazzled these days.
That's exactly my brain goes as well. I'm surprised I got that deep into the squad, to be perfectly honest. Should we flick up the names that we had written down? Though?
Yeah.
Yeah, please, just so we know.
Right.
Chris Maguire, that one says. Although,
Oh, yeah.
the blurring
Liam
effect.
Circum.
Maguire and Matt went for Liam
Circum.
Of
Circum.
course. Was Ledson in that? Yeah, I should have challenged, shouldn't I?
He came in late.
Did he?
It would have been
God.
a false challenge.
Oh, I thought that was,
well done.
Matt.
Congrats, Matt.
Thank you, mate. I mean, 3 in a row. What can I say?
See if you can get to 7.
I know.
Matt, you've beaten the sponsor. That's
I
the worst thing.
He's going to have to pay us more.
Pay you on time. I'll pay you on time.
A big man with a big goal on the big occasion.